Against this right back, Charlie's definitely.
There's always just that active red line defending. I think it's like
people deluded. I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on.
And Uncle Ian said it there, man. I'm back again. People deluded. I'm back again. First things first, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. I hope everyone's got their health. I hope everyone's had a fantastic start to the week. So, yeah, man. If like myself, you're in the United Kingdom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and obviously in some cases, good night. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Big up the Twitch gang. I appreciate you lot tuned in. Apologies for being half an hour late. I had something to do in my personal life. I took someone to an appointment. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. So I'm half an hour late. We still go live at 11:30, which is on Twitch and YouTube. So if you're here listening to this, make sure you stay where you are. In fact, on that, to be shameless, it's a jam-packed day of content now. If you follow me on Twitch, you ain't going to miss a damn thing. We're here now. We're going to be live at 11:30. Pardon me, 3 p.m. I've got Graham. You know who Graham, pardon me. You know who Graham is. We're going to speak about everything Arsenal. Any questions you lot want, make sure you get them in good time. I'll set up on the community tab on YouTube any questions you wish to ask. That's at 3 p.m. And obviously I'm going to ask him how he feels about obviously Xhaka moving out of midfield and them things there. After that at 4:30, we're under strict time constraints because Jess has got to go somewhere. But I'd say we're aiming for half an hour, 45 minutes. A hard stop. It has to be at 5:30 max. I'm gonna have her at 4:30. So that's 10:30, 11:30, 3 p.m, 4:30, and 7:30. Make sure you're joining me across Twitch and YouTube. It'll be Real Madrid versus Chelsea. No clue why they remix the fixtures. It'll be easier for everyone if Chelsea just played tomorrow, but it is what it is. Tomorrow's my birthday. Don't forget, 27 presents, but I'll have at least 3 live streams. We're going to be watching the Champions League at 7:30. I'm still going to do my 10 a.m. and 11:30. And then in between that, I can't lie, man. I can't even talk on the stuff that's going to go down. You see it? Like, it is where it is, people. You know what I mean? Has the stream started? It started now, brother. Listen, this thread here. Listen, we'll get into the thread. A lot of you have been onto me, man. You could claim it was your idea. Many people have been like, "Oh, why don't you go over the Fred Curtis did it?" And I wasn't taking it in, but I thought, what else is there to speak about? So we'll obviously talk about the Champions League. We'll obviously talk about that, Fred. Beer things in it. So any questions you lot got, get them in. Brighton and Hove Albion have conceded one more goal than Arsenal this season. Again, exactly. So what does that tell you, Andrew? What people tried to fight me on is that Arsenal are not a good defensive side. They're an improved defensive side. And, shout out to us. Our statistics don't even back up. I think we've actually conceded more goals than last season or something like that. But realistically, Arsenal have improved defensively, tiny bit more switched on, etc., but nowhere near what you need to be. If we judge it on what Arsenal used to be, then there's dramatic improvement. If we was to judge it on a team that's expected to consistently be top 4, get to the latter stages of trophies, etc., beyond the obvious, it's not levels in it. Again, we've got a lot of players with bad habits and things like that. So yeah, man, mad stats still. Something like that. To be fair, you're on me, Tuds. That was 10:30 on the dot. I can't lie, man. It's out of my control. What happened to the stream? We're there, man. We're there. Jace or S as you are on Twitch. Everyone, calm down. Come on. Aye. You regained yourself. He'll be here when he's here. Don't think he's just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. Come on. The stream gets you every time. Laka and Eddie can only dream of scoring a goal like DG. I'm a 1-goal wonder, but to be fair, Laka scored some cracking finishes. I don't know for Eddie's thing, but yeah. Arteta is on fraud watch. I can't lie. Woof, that's harsh. Surely you got to be rated like that, I wouldn't say he's on fraud watch, but I feel if the club, people above him, there was more pressure. If we was trying to do this winning thing, I think in the same way you demand more from your players, etc., I don't think you see certain things. Like, again, I go back to last season in the Europa League. Now, It might have worked and you'd have been a genius, but is the semi-final the best time to be trying to play a false nine? You lot can decide that for me. You know, obviously you've got one problem with no Partey, you've got no left back. We all know centrally with what we do in the middle and our fullbacks, that's central to Arsenal play. So to kind of plug one gap, you've created 7 other ones, so 9 times out of 10, because you know, by all means, Xhaka moving left back is a problem. But for me, I'm not necessarily against that if there is a plan in midfield, and there wasn't. You know, maybe if there were certain owners that were 30, they might say, listen, is this the right time with 7, 8 games left to do all of that sort of stuff? I know circumstances have forced your hand. Maybe a certified owner goes, you know what, I'm not accepting, no, you need to get a midfielder or a striker. I'll give you the dosh, go and get it. We have a chance to get top 4. I don't know, people. This is all speculative. Now, you can't just blame the owner for everything. I just feel Arteta, for as much as I like him, I'd say I don't think I think he knows he's here for the long term. He knows unless he really fails, he's not gone anywhere. And I don't feel there's that healthy sort of pressure in that. I don't, you know, Klopp, if certain things go left, certain things might happen at Liverpool to him. Tuchel, if things go left at Chelsea, I know it's a delicate one. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Fresh week, clean slate, DG, a new week for our club to get 3 points. Amen. More collabs than an Ed Sheeran album. Come on. I'm trying, but I'm looking forward to Jessie knows one as well, man. She knows what she's talking about, and it's always nice for me to why I like her on the channels, because obviously she's from stateside, so it's obviously she could only speak for herself, but it's kind of like speaking for them, like, if you get in it. So yeah, man. You're moving mad now. Hey, you're moving mad. But yeah, man, away from you lot's nonsense. See why I love the Twitch gang? Obviously, weirdos have been finding their way into this, but generally, you lot are good, man. So it is what it is. What should we say from minute 00 to about Mikel Arteta thoughts? Let's just call it Mikel Arteta Fred, you know, because it kind of pours into this sort of stuff, man. I do think Arsenal fans, you know, we've been a bit booky for a while. It just feels like we've lost. Now everybody's got something to say. When we're winning, nobody cares about Lacazette's failure to score goals, the shaky defenses, the bewildering things for Mikel Arteta, because they've been there. You know, even back to when we beat Norwich and Newcastle at home, you know, the midfield problems were there, you know. It is what it is. But where is this thread? I need to send it to myself as well, people. No clue why, but, you know, it's not coming up on my normal, like, it's not coming up on Twitter. Okay, spoiler alert, people. 3 p.m.'s a myth, man. You know, Graham is just yeah, no 3 p.m. still, people. But yeah, man. Let me remove that one out the banner. I can't. Do you know what? It's whatever. Word to diggity, man. It's whatever. Big up Jess. Let's just hope Jess don't flop the thing now. I don't want to hear it. But yeah, anyways, back to finding this thread. Sorry, people. I need to go through one of my WhatsApp groups because I can't lie. One of the random hates Arteta. So any little thing that's anti-Arteta, he's onto it. Yeah, I'm in so many group chats. I can't. What is this one called? Wannabe pundits. Where is it? Wannabe pundits. There we are. Let me scroll all the way up. Where's my guy Fury? The man said, you will like this. All Mikel Arteta sackable offenses during his time at the club. I just know, before I read this thing, I just know some of the stuff is going to be harsh, isn't it? But let's see in it. I haven't seen a damn thing in it. Like, and again, a lot of you have been on me like, oh yeah, man, why don't you talk about it? Why don't you do this? And you know what? The people have spoken, isn't it? So let me bring that up on the screen. All right, I got this study blocked. Why have I got this study blocked? I can't even see this thread, people. What's going on? Okay, here it is. One love to you lot, man. Hey. Done no. Appreciate that, CeeLo. I've got it now, though. I appreciate that, my guy. If Arsenal finishes 6th, is it a trophy or the clip for Arteta next season? I mean, it's not a trophy. Even in the same way, listen, I would have gassed up the thing if we finish 4th. We're back to the promised land. We'll probably get smacked up in the champs, but we'll deal with that next season. On one hand, we know this top 4 thing has become superficial and whatnot. you know, on my deathbed, if I was a footballer, I'm not gonna tell my kid, yo, you know, I finished fourth. That's dead, innit? But I would say, I would say that obviously in August, top six, we would have taken that in it. Now, that being said, as I said before, once fourth became something, regardless of us clawing our season back and things like that, which I give the club credit for, we've gone from relegated to challenging for top four. From the moment, I don't know when it actually became a talking point, but from the moment top four became a realistic possibility for Arsenal to May, whatever happens, happens. If you don't, it is a failure, bro. It is a failure. It's a fantastic opportunity. Yeah, you know, the young players can learn, we can strengthen the team, we can go again, assuming other teams are not going to strengthen and things, but it'd be a missed opportunity, especially with United are going through a transition, you know, and if everything fixed up off the field, United actually have all the resources to get back quicker than us. I don't know what Spurs are on, I don't know what the other teams are on, but this was a chance to get in the Champions League, maybe get some targets that we might not have got and kind of accelerate the process really and truly. And that's where I feel it's become the biggest, I don't know. It's like that's become an excuse now. Is that we, you know, I think some Arsenal fans will forget the fact that top four probably wasn't a realistic possibility for us at the start of the season and kind of kill Arteta with that. Some fans will look at the fact of, yeah, we weren't able to get, we weren't looking at it in the summer. So it's not really a failure when the truth lies in the middle. I'm not gonna lie, it would be a failure. It would be a bitter pill to swallow, and it would be the end of the world. But we have to go again in it, people, really and truly. It would have been overachieving, man. I wouldn't say harsh. I would say failure of a lot of people. So yeah, man. Let's see what's going on, really. So yeah, let's run into this thing and see exactly what's being said. Big up you lot for tuning in. Thread of every sackable offense committed by fraud Mikel Arteta during his 2.5 years as manager. A bit harsh to call him a fraud. That's not my thoughts, but this is what my man has said. Before we begin, it's worth noting I've been against his appointment from the start. Now, that's what we have to remember. Again, we can be for Arteta, we can be and then change. One thing, you know, you're allowed that, but we need to remember, I'm not saying my man's got an agenda, but he's been against it from the start. I'm not saying him, but in general, I do think some fans are loyal to their agendas more than the club. That's to Arteta succeeding or failing. There's, you know, Arteta sexuals, Arteta sympathy, you know, sympathizers who, as I said yesterday, no man's without failure. You know, even Liverpool fans criticize Klopp, leads with Bielsa. So who are we? Arteta could live shit in somebody's bed and someone would say the room doesn't stink. I think people always want to kick the man, and it does feel like people who have probably had to put their Arteta out banners away have just, you know, got them back off the last two games. Again, it was all good 2 weeks ago or a week ago, really. In fact, it was all good a week. No, it wasn't all good a week ago because that was the aftermath Crystal Palace. Just over a week ago, it was all good. But yeah, man, he said that includes in 2018 when we were linked with him after Wenger left. So nothing on this thread really surprised me. Unfortunately, it was all to be expected. This is a bit harsh again. This is, yeah, man. I don't know what that is, but he said, for the sake of context, Arteta inherited this prolific partnership as part of a squad that finished fifth. And that's one thing with me with Mikel Arteta. We don't score enough goals, and we know we've got a problem in terms of goals, but I do think he's self-inflicted it and made it tougher. You know, Emre and Wenger never had an issue with these two really. You know, unbalancing the team was one thing, but they were both performing really. You know, circumstances change, etc., etc. But he said Arteta inherited this prolific partnership as point of fourth and reached the European final, none of which he's been able to replicate, let alone, you know, we did finish 1 point off fifth, but again, we fucked up numerous times without that, pardon me, during that season. So I don't want to make it out like we was elite for the half the season and we just finished fifth, but we did have that. And there was obviously some things he's inherited. After months of disgusting performances and behavior culminating in being stripped of the armband, Xhaka finally did something right by handling the transfer request and had a deal done to join her for Berlin. Then Arteta arrived. I wouldn't say that's the first sackable offense. You know, the world was against Xhaka, and now, you know, Xhaka is Xhaka. He'll always, you know, he'll always be Xhaka, and if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But I wouldn't say that's necessarily a sackable offense. I wouldn't say that's a sackable offense because we almost got a tune out of Xhaka. My problem with Arteta is probably building your team around Xhaka because, again, from the minute you've walked in, and you can go through all my videos on Twitch and YouTube, I've said this transition can't respectfully, as long as Xhaka is one of the first names on the team sheet, you're gonna get mixed results, really, to the point where whatever you say about Xhaka, our midfield doesn't tick without him, and that's a problem. You know, that is a serious issue. That is a serious issue. He's not a good enough player for that. But I wouldn't say that's necessarily a sackable offense. Like I said, we need to be careful of agendas. Having not been able to muster a new manager bounce, one win in his first 7. I mean, obviously we was robbed. We got eliminated in the Europa League, and again he fucked up against Olympiacos. You know, I think both the manager and the players. I think the manager in the first leg, second leg we was messing about. But to be fair with you, the players lost that Chelsea game. If you remember, 15 minutes from time, I think Tammy scored. We did well. This was his response to a banner back Arteta Kroenke out, eager to display his loyalty. I'm not copyright issues around that. I'm not going to bore you lot with that. We limped on to 8th place, finishing in the table, our worst finish since 94-95. I'm not going to get on to Arteta. Might have failed, but I'm not going to get onto him taking over mid-season. His man management you can see, is it necessarily fair to say his man management is terrible? I think there's several examples when I look at potentially how Pepe's handled with Aubameyang, etc. But you could turn that around and dropped Tavares, but earlier in the season he gave him faith. He's done that with Lacazette. He actually kept playing Aubameyang until this off-field stuff. So I think you need to look at this without neutrals. I would say Arteta paints a mixed picture in terms of man management. I am concerned with him around the more mavericky talents, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, man. It is what it is. I'm not going to get at him for that. He said we then won the FA Cup thanks to 3 goals in the semi-final and final. Aubameyang, versus City and Chelsea, 2 of which were assisted by Pepe, the Africans that delivered Arteta's only managerial title. But we switched to a back 3, we switched to a back 3 and whatnot, and that was a big success. And I mean, you've got to give the players and Mikel Arteta credit. I don't agree with that. Guendouzi, again, he's pissed people off. Guendouzi pissed people off. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Saliba, again, it's more so of him not playing him. For me, it's more so a case of what's the plan with him versus man management. I would say we're forcing it. He said Saliba, you're not going to get game time this season. He's now become a French international and things. So again, I don't know where it is. Guendouzi frozen out after backing his teammate. Guendouzi wouldn't say sorry. I'm pissed off that Guendouzi's gone. Like I said, I am concerned with Arteta around the harsher talents and things. But I mean, come on now. I mean, if you want to praise Arteta, you will find ridiculous praise. If you want to attack the guy, you will attack the guy, really. I mean, he said, meanwhile, Xhaka, Lokonga and El Nene are still Arsenal players. Respectfully, what relevance does that have? Lokonga was bought in the summer. El Nene is a squad donny. We're at where we're at with Xhaka. We all know Saliba is yet to make his debut. I don't agree with certain other people getting new deals. I don't agree with Mustafi attempted to get a new deal. Like I said, the issue was how we're handling Saliba without everything. Willian, don't agree with that. Mismanagement. Arteta has to hold his L for giving Willian for bringing in Willian and then tearing up his deal. Aubameyang the same. That's one thing I don't get. Arteta is praised for almost righting his wrongs where it shouldn't necessarily be that. If I'm completely honest with you. He said, worth noting that Chelsea did what we should have done, sacked their amateur manager Lampard, actual club legend, unlike Arteta, and upgrade to a proven winner. As always, they had the last laugh. He's gone on to say that. Villa did the double over us for the first time since 1993. By that season was political, people. Everton did the double over us for the first time since 1986. Wolves did the double over us for the first time since 1979. And obviously, you got to remember where the squad was at the time and the transition. And there's certain things, but this was rubbed. This was a very rubbed time. The one thing, there's things I'll never forgive Arteta for. Again, you don't get praise for giving people new deals and then ripping them up. I do think at times he plays around with the squad. I don't feel I've seen enough in an attacking sense to know that you're on scoring goals. There's a lot to like and a not to like. And this is why I'm not Arteta in or out. I support my club, really. So yeah, man, he said 4 straight home losses for the first time since 1959. Arteta has 1 win in 5 games against. You think Arteta is on the floor because we've got a terrible record against the top 6. And, I've never seen standards are on the floor at Arsenal. Like, you know, you look back to the City game. We fought, we done all them things, but we still lost. You would have thought Arsenal won. And I think this is where I mean by some Arsenal fans' expectations are through the roof, where some realistic, some people are on the floor. He's lost all his 5 league games against City. He's lost 3 of his 4 games against Everton. He is an Everton man. He has 1 win in 5 against Palace. I mean, boy, lowest points tally after 25 games since 1913 and most draws for us in the season. Fair play. You know, we did struggle to score goals, and Arteta did more so when William was there, had an issue. I still don't know from what Mikel Arteta is doing, what the build-up play is saying. Again, going back to the midfield, anytime your midfield is bet on that, it's an issue. And I would say only this season really has Xhaka and Partey looked like a functional unit. And I don't believe in that partnership over a 38-game period personally. And again, you was a midfielder. The one position would be that, man. Yes, but I don't like the way it is what it is. Damn, I swear 2 matches ago was good. Trust me, you guys realize Champions League would have been overachieving. I agree and disagree. Like, Arsenal should always be targeting for 4th. I wouldn't say, you know, last couple of times that we've missed out on 4th, has it been because everybody's dramatically better than us, or has it been because we've performed poorly over a season? Top 4 is about in the world, such as the media, us the same, United the same. You know, even when we missed out under Emery, was it really a point, or did we of how poor Arsenal are? It would to a degree be overachieving because we were struggling. But this is what I mean about mixed ground. You're either, you know, criticizing unrealistically or praising BS, in my opinion. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's overachieving. That should be the target. But yeah, top 6 probably would have been where we is expected to fall about. Changing the culture where Nketiah thinks he can cup his ears, having scored an equalizer at home to relegated Fulham. This is emotionally charged. I mean, obviously, man are celebrating a draw, and I'm not going to get at a young man for celebrating, but I mean, it's sounding very offensive. Again, I agree with this. Smith Rowe false 9 in the Europa League semi-finals is a sackable offense. You should not be doing that. You know, you should not be doing that. Exactly. And then they became top 4 contenders because they're inconsistent, you know. And it's like my man saying, it's a bit of both, but in football, overachieving happens often and benefits your team. Exactly. You know, United can be title challengers. They became exactly. They're inconsistent, so they became a fight for top 4 out of Europe for the first time since 1995. Now, when Arteta had his full season and finished 8th, that's a sackable offense. I do agree that other managers at other clubs, or if he never had the propaganda around him, people would have got sacked. Emery got sacked for less. I do think one thing that went against Arteta that goes for Emery is that Emery didn't do the 0 tolerance thing. Now, Emery had to. It was more of a delicate time because he took over straight with Wenger. He had to be a bit of a diplomat. I think Arteta's been allowed this 0 hardline approach, you know, with Aubameyang, with Ozil, with etc., and whatnot. I do think finishing 8th and the performances in the FA Cup, you know, we went out to Southampton, the conduct that we did in the semi-finals of the Europa League, not going to cap. I cannot remember the EFL Cup. Was that against Spurs that year? I can't remember, but I don't know. He then outspent everyone in Europe. I mean, it's a bit harsh. We did, but, you know, we spent 150 million, you know, if it was a house, we spent 150 million somewhat just getting installation, making sure the boiler's working, etc. City spent 100 million on a flat screen TV in Grealish, innit? One player was 100 million. We got about however many. And let's not act up now. You know, I know Lokonga and Tavares ain't flavor of the month, but there was a period fans were gassing Tavares, fans were gassing Lokonga. Let's not act like Ramsdale hasn't added something. Odegaard, again, has brought something. Tomiyasu's been a good player. Ben White, jury's still out, but he's been all right. Let's stop capping now, really. We can talk about spending money. That's one thing. People act like Arteta hasn't spent a penny, but lost first 3 games of the season with an aggregate score of 9-0. That was terrible, but we weren't helped with COVID, and we was. You can paint you can paint whatever narrative you want, really and truly. And this is where I think you've got to look at it without agendas. If you want to just paint Arteta as a bad guy, you can. If you want to paint him as the Messiah, you can. Where really it's in the middle, in that there's a lot good about him, there's a lot bad. If the owner was serious, Arteta could have been sacked for less. Or for me, there'd be less of the semi-finals against Europa League, or in the Europa League, or have it. We need to bounce back against Crystal Palace. Why on earth are you moving Xhaka out of midfield? It's this for someone that's a tactical genius and knows more about football than me and all these things allegedly. I don't understand that one. If it worked, it would have been calm. I'm not gonna get. It was terrible to lose them games, but context is key. Losing to Everton was horrible, I admit, but the players are playing as well. Stripped Aubameyang of the captaincy. The only issue I have with Aubameyang is the knock-on effect. You've cut off your nose to spite your face. You could have been a bit more diplomatic. No striker was brought in. We're crippled. I don't know if he tried to bless the beef with Aubameyang. For me, it looked like I'm gonna play Aubameyang through the criticism, and the minute it became an off-field thing, there was issues. But yeah, man, it was brazy, people. And again, I'm not praised. I don't know why Arteta got praised for clearing up the wage bill, because you cannot bring the wage bill off the bench. And Aubameyang Arteta sanctioned the deal. So why, you must have known what his personality is like. Why is it suddenly changed at a hat sort of thing? So I don't know for that one. So yeah, man, you and our Edu, I don't really rate the outgoings. We've just been ripping up deals. I do agree. He failed to sign a striker, and I do think fans celebrated saving wages, which was dead. Betting on Eddie and Nketiah and Lacazette is silly, and I think you only do things like that if regardless of where you really finish this season, you're still going to be in with a job. So again, going back to that healthy pressure, we had a lot of it. Bro, we barely had a fit enough squad for Nottingham Forest. Again, what you need to do in the summer in January, but we was terrible. I mean, we lost to Liverpool in the semi-finals. I'm not going to kill a man for being that, but fundamentally, for the first time this century, we're out of all comps in January. And I wouldn't say the players were rewarded with a trip to Dubai, but there is that. We got sourced against Crystal Palace and Brighton. The players are to blame for Crystal Palace. I do think the players were shit against Brighton, but the tactics are on Mikel Arteta, which, again, you have to hold your L's to that, man. And you're right, Vieira is an actual club legend. And, Palace hadn't won at home in a hot second when they played us. Brighton won a losing run and they won in it. But, yeah, man, it is what it is. Also, forgot to mention, during COVID, when Arteta pressured the squad into pay cuts, only club that did so. I mean, it wasn't just Mikel Arteta. And it's, Mikel Arteta is a manager. And this is a bit harsh, also his random flop signings like Runnison, that was shit. Marie, that was shit. I wouldn't say Ryan was a flop. I've never seen Trusty and Turner play, so I wouldn't say they're necessarily flops. Willian undoubtedly is a flop. Treatment of Pepe, I don't understand it. And the football club, I don't understand it as well. To be fair, Eddie Nketiah rejected personal terms with Crystal Palace. Maybe we should have tied down his deal and not got it into last summer, I'd agree. Ainsley people. Xhaka said no to Roma. So I agree with that, but fair enough. But yeah, man. Difference between overachieving and improving. You've improved massively, but haven't overachieved sometimes a good thing. I mean, I don't know about that, but yeah, you're right. There's a massive difference between overachieving and, to be honest, I don't think top four is overachieving. Like, we spent a lot of money. We haven't got bad players. Yes, we have a young and naive squad. And really, I think Arteta, as much as the players are bottling it, I do think Mikel Arteta's naivety has kind of cost us in these last two games. Again, as much as it was Mighty Ducks and it was, you have to rate it, I'm going to bet on the squad, and this was the squad that got us in the top four shouts. Bro, you have to remember, winter is coming. People can get injured. We're relying on young players who are outperforming their expected goals. Lacazette, at what Lacazette's doing. So, you've always got to consider that. I do think Arteta has showed some naivety in his handling of squad and overall squad depth. And you've been here 2.5 years now. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think a lot of that was agenda driven. I do think a lot of what we just read was agenda. There was some truth in it, but I do think it was emotionally charged in it, to be able to look at. I'm not saying I'm not doing anything different, but I do think you need to look at it without emotion. Like I said, if you believe Arteta is the guy, you'll find an excuse for everything. If you hate him, you'll find a stick to hit him over the head with everything. I do think other managers would have been sacked for less. I do think the propaganda thing helps him. I do think the fact that the club bet on him long term, the fact of, I don't think the owner is putting healthy pressure, the fact of he's got a good thing to learn what he could learn at this club. Because let's be honest, he's allowed to learn at this club, and he might just move on and go elsewhere. And the club don't really have a certified manager who's going to apply pressure. I do think there's a project developing. He's doing good things, but I don't feel, it's not Arteta FC, isn't it? Like, if another manager become available and he's shown us that he can't take us to the next level, it should be moved on. Because ironically, we've got a good base now. You know, I'll give him that. He's rubbed out, rightly or wrongly. He's got rid of, you know, he got rid of certain players. You know, there's a good platform with the young ones. If you add a couple of like 2 signings into the immediate starting 11, we look a bit different. If you bring some squad people in, then it is, you know, I think there's a good base. But when I see him not bringing in a midfielder in the summer, you know, that's evidently ready to improve. Betting on players respectfully, Lacazette, Xhaka, these guys are not good enough. Like, they can help you in the squad, but crunch time, there's very few players you can believe in. Like, even someone like Kieran Tierney, that's my guy. He's still the captain, all of these sort of things. But we know he's a flight risk with injuries. Tavares ain't good enough. So again, it become a case of depth, but this just tells me that maybe we're ahead of schedule. Maybe that, you know, he knows while top 4 has become this, if I finish among the top 6 is calm. Let's be honest, you know, other managers at this club, specifically Wenger and Emery, were killed for less. You know, Arteta could finish 10th and people would somehow put a positive spin on it. And this is what annoys me. There's no balance. You know, you can't praise or critique Arteta without being labeled a sympathizer or pardon me, or leading a witch hunt, really. Like, I do think fans fail to understand, bro. Can't speak for no one, but it's Arsenal. I don't care about the gaffer per se. I don't care about the players per se. Like, you know, I grew up supporting Arsenal. I don't care about nothing else. If you're the guy, you're the guy. And I feel there's been reasons to praise or critique. I haven't seen enough in Mikel Arteta to say undoubtedly you're the guy for the foreseeable future under, man. Yeah, man. Well, Emery was killed for a lot, man. Emery was killed for a lot. But with Emery, he lost the players in it. And like I said, he couldn't come out here and do the, like, how to make it make sense. He couldn't do the, like Arteta can kind of puff out his chest and say, you fuck off, you're not playing. Emery couldn't do that them times there. He tried it with Ozil. Immediately, Ozil had to get bust back into the squad because maybe the club didn't ride for Emery like that. The club clearly backing Arteta's decisions. You know, no questions asked, tear it up sort of thing, you know. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, man. So I was expecting a bit more. I was expecting a bit of a deeper dive in depth and all of those sort of things. It was a bit disappointed, man. I wouldn't say Emery's language let him down, because, you know, the players took the piss, but it wasn't over his language, and he speaks multiple as well. And there was French speakers, Spanish speakers. I would say one thing I didn't like in relation to Emery's language is how the media treated him. Like a man's come over here. He's tried to speak English from the jump, and people have just been moving mad. Like, don't get it twisted. There's an element of humor around the good evening, but then it started getting a bit sinister, in my opinion. But nonetheless, that feels a bit, I'm not going to cap, it feels a bit emotionally charged. And there was some truth, but like, man are spinning narratives to suit their agendas. Away from that, though, obviously, people, it's Champions League today, innit? So it's the big one, innit? Sorry, people. It's Champions League. So we're going to have to get into that. As you've got, ironically, Unai Emery's Villarreal playing Bayern Munich. As you know, Villarreal, who knocked out Juventus, held on to a slender lead. They're winning 1-0, and they go to Bayern Munich's ground hoping to complete that. You've got Real Madrid against Chelsea. Obviously, Real Madrid at the Bernabeu go into it after beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge with a 3-1 lead. Again, there's no away goals. I do think Chelsea could score 2 goals, but again, will they keep goals out the back of their net? I don't know. They probably got some confidence back after the Southampton game. We'll speak about it on Wednesday, but you've obviously got Liverpool against Benfica. Liverpool with the same scoreline in favour like Real Madrid. They're winning 3-1. City are only winning 1-0 travelling to Madrid. So it's going to be a political one, really. So we'll have to see what that specifically is saying. If we start looking at some other news, people in the world of football, that ability to make arguments either way comes with any manager that isn't Pep or Klopp. Forgive me, but we've moved on. I don't know what you're referring to, my guy. But yeah, moving on. Allegedly, Ashley Cole was a victim of robbery. That was horrible, but Ashley Cole tied up during violent robbery and threatened with having fingers cut off, caught his. Tom Huddleston also got finessed as well. A robber threatened to cut former England footballers Ashley Cole's fingers off with pliers during a violent break-in at his Omar Court. Heard Nottingham Crown Court was told the ex-Arsenal, Chelsea and Derby left-back was cable-tied and led around the house in just a pair of shorts during the ordeal. This Curtis Dilks guy is accused of being part of a 4-strong gang who in January 2020 smashed their way into the home of him and his partner before stealing jewelry, mobile phones and a BMW key. The couple's 2 young children were in the house. Brazy, man. Absolutely brazy. Tom Huddleston was also caught as well. Caught up in this as well. It's brazy, man. Release and Teeth is a brazy one. But yeah, that's that. What else have we got? Robert Lewandowski, as you know, Barcelona have been linked with him. What a signing that would be, people. Apparently a 2 or 3 year contract in the making of worth 25 to 33 million per season is being linked for the 33-year-old as he plots his next move. It's a dream for him to play in Spain, and there's Barcelona. I mean, Aubameyang on the left, Lewandowski through the middle. It's probably the end of the pay there, really. Chelsea takeover. NBA chairman Larry T joins Stefan's bid ahead of Thursday's deadline. I can't lie, man. That's just the latest with that. It's getting a bit boring speaking about Chelsea's owners. Speaking of Chelsea, apparently Didier Drogba has been cleared to stand in the long-delayed elections to be the next president of Ivory Coast's Football Federation. A total of 6 candidates, including outgoing Vice President Idris Diallo, have been approved by the FIS FIFA-installed normalization committee to stand in the polls of the 23rd of April. So good luck to Drogba with that one. Roman Abramovich apparently has made a bid to buy Valencia, people. Fair play. As you know, he was forced to give up a lot of assets in England. Brazy. So we'll have to see what's going on there. What else have we got? Payet claims he snubbed Manchester United for Marseille. What specifically has he said? I'm not someone who lives with regret. I made a choice which was just as much football related as it was family to come back to Marseille. There were other big clubs. There were Manchester United and others. It was a personal and family choice. I think it was best for me and my family. Fair play. Again, Una Emery, well, no one care for that. Sergio Ramos has said, I would like to play for 4 or 5 more years. Crazy. You know, how about just playing a season for PSG? He said, I would like to play between 4 and 5 more years at the top level and then live another experience. I have 2 years at PSG. We will try to do 3 and then we'll see. As long as my physical condition holds up, I think I can keep my mind focused. I prefer to play in the best team in the world and then to be the best player, because in the end, football is a collective sport and it's about winning as a team. Before being the best in the world, I prefer to play world championships and Champions League, and for everything, you always need to work for the team, which is true. Dybala or Lukaku, I can't decide now. Lukaku's been continuously linked with a move back to Inter Milan. I'd always sign Dybala. This is Moratti, people, ahead of the summer potential plans. The Inter Milan man said, I'd always sign Dybala. He's really strong. However, I believe Inter need a centre forward. If it's not Lukaku, Inter will need a new one anyways. Lautaro is a promising striker who hasn't. I hope he can do better in the next games. Edin Dzeko has done so well without him. Carrera is a smart striker. Crazy. So, yeah, that's that. And in other news, in terms of transfers, we're going to focus on this at 11:30, people. But we've spoken about Payet. Barcelona remain keen on João Felix. Newcastle have turned their attentions to Tossart. Tottenham have joined the race to sign Telemans. Aston Villa are looking to sign Matthias Ginter, who could be a free agent in the summer. Crazy. Barcelona are looking to bring Xavi Simons back. As you know, Arsenal and Man United are in the race to sign Ruben Neves. Juventus are eyeing up a move for Barcelona. Manchester United and Bayern Munich target Antony. Crazy stuff going on. Barca willing to pay 30 million for Lewandowski. Barcelona are willing to pay 30 million euros to sign Robert Lewandowski, which technically would be a profit for Bayern Munich because they did get him for free from Borussia Dortmund. So I don't know if that's what they're on. If we look at the BBC, refresh that page and see what their transfer news is saying. Tottenham want to make Kulusevski's transfer permanent, which is obvious. Pep Guardiola is keen on adding Enzo Fernandez to his squad. Obviously, he's another young lad at River Plate. They've just signed Alvarez. What else have we got? Manchester City are looking at Mikel Moreno, who's rebuilt his career after the Newcastle failure. Paul Pogba remains a priority for Manchester United. And I was reading a report that said, you know, his agent and the chairman of PSG have actually met with each other, really. Origi has agreed to join AC Milan. We've already spoken about Lukaku. Tottenham want to sign Cuadrado. I mean, that's probably a Conte-led effort. And Chiellini hasn't ruled out potentially playing in the MLS, people, which is brazy. Moving away from that, though, I think we've got some other things to consider as well. What's all of this? Close that. Yeah. And yeah, sorry, folks. Let's get into this as well. Carlo said, if any other club than Real Madrid had called me, I would have stayed at Everton. With Everton, but you got out the right time. With Everton, I felt very good. Then Madrid called me and it was difficult to say no. They were the only team I wouldn't say no to. To the rest, I would say no. Crazy, fair enough. Shout out to you. On that, keeping up the theme of Real Madrid, Casemiro's criticized the home fans for their treatment of Gareth Bale. I heard Bale being whistled the other day and I didn't like it. He's a historic player. Yeah, he's bloody scored the Champions League final. When you whistle him, you're whistling at the history of this club. Fair enough. So we start with closing that. Apparently, UEFA has provisionally suspended Roma and Glint coaches after Europa Conference League incident, people. They're under investigation for conduct which is insulting or otherwise violates the basic rules of decent conduct and faces suspension of up to 5 UEFA competition matches. Brazy, what did... Crazy one. Let's see exactly what's happened there. Why is it frozen? Oh, there we have it. So yeah, they're fighting cases, people. Apparently, he's even getting mounted on. Apparently, Roma captain Pellegrini accused Knutsen of attacking the former Leeds goalkeeper after the game, saying the dressing rooms are opposite each other. Knutsen started saying something to our goalkeeping coach and then attacked him. It was an unpleasant incident for the competition and for fair play. I'm disappointed because we came here with respect, but incidences like this are an insult to Roma and to the competition. It's shameful. I hope you lot banged out. Like, did you mean? Like, I hope you didn't get ripped. The goalkeeping coach of Roma positioned himself illegally outside the coaching staff where he continuously verbally and gesturally harassed Knutsen. Knutsen added, everything culminated in a physical attack on me in the player tunnel. Usually I'm so by nature that I would withdraw. In this case, I was physically attacked. He grabbed me by my neck and pushed me into the wall. It's only natural that I then had to defend myself. Hey, this ain't got nothing on Pizzagate. Hey. Apparently, Atletico Madrid have been ordered to close their 5,000 seat section of the stadium for Manchester City games after fans' behavior. Really, I hope it ain't nothing to do with racism, people. But yeah, man, apparently they've got to close it. Apparently, UEFA appeals body has announced the following decision, which would affect the attendance of supporters to UEFA matches. Well, it is due to certain people. You know, they've also been asked to display a banner saying no to racism ahead of the fixture. Great stuff. You know, great stuff. Token gestures. Say no to racism. Smoking is bad. People are still going to smoke. Glow going to throw their stuff in the litter in the wrong place. Great stuff. So, yeah, man, fuck Atletico Madrid. But, yeah, they've done something in it, people. So, yeah. And again, it's not the first time. Atletico were previously ordered by UEFA to close part of their stadium in 2018-19 Champions League after racist banner was unhurled during the 2018 Europa League final in Lyon. I mean, European football and racism is another thing. Have you ever scrapped it inside the change room, outside the change room, in the car park, on the pitch? You know, if you played Sunday League, there's definitely been scrappers, man. And this is why it's vital to play football with people that are in the trenches, isn't it? Like, there's definitely been some... Carlos Queiroz has left his role as Egypt coach after the AFCON final loss and failed to reach the World Cup. Brazy, but you can't say no to that. You needed to keep it moving. As you know, Kelechi is being bullied by his former club, Hellscar, but apparently he wants to return to England, people. Who he will join, I don't know. He is known to be on the radar of English and Spanish clubs and was considered by Watford last summer before they went for other options. And now, you know, though clubs have the opportunity to have him train with them before the end of the season with a view to potentially signing him. Despite the interest from Spain, returning to England is known to be his preference. He last played in January, so his physical condition probably is not going to be at the best, really and truly. So, yeah, man, with that, that's all the transfer. Well, I say transfer news. That's transfer news. That's other gossip and all of that, people. So, yeah. Don't forget, people, it's a jam-packed day of content again. We won't be live at 3 p.m. You know, actually, might as well delete that out of the schedules. I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to be doing, I don't think there's going to be any game collabs again still. You know, for some reason, you know, it's about 3-4 times now. But yeah, away from that though, don't forget, I'm looking at my own schedule, people. 11:30, which is now, well, in a second. She knows Arsenal from 4:30, and then 7:30 is Champions League settings, people. So yeah, man, it is what it is, really. If Roman Abramovich buys Valencia, I wonder if he takes a lot of the staff he left at Chelsea. Maybe, you know, maybe. I don't think so, though. Valencia about to come up. Trust. Do you stream FIFA? No, I don't. At this moment in time. What else have I got? Have I been missing anything? Offering Mustafi a new contract and kept on playing Bellerin was borderline insanity. Trust. Where is Willian now? Don't know or care, man. He's in Brazil somewhere. DG taking Moise Keane. Bars on the floor, in it. So why not, man? In the squad, why not? Squad team. Not the main don. His man management ain't very good. He seems to bully the youngsters and on playing the over 30s like William Lacquer and Luis, then we all know they ain't levels. Bit harsh. But I hear you, man. Crazy, man. Be interesting to see how he bounces back, man. We moved there, lost trust, man. We moved, bro. They can't stop this train. DG Nation, we're moving. Obviously, you know, I'm going to be back. I'm back in 10 minutes, really. Yeah, literally 10 minutes. So make sure you're all here, people. That's across Twitch and YouTube. One love to you lot that have been tuned in early doors. One love to the regulars, the new birds. Again, without you lot, I'd be dead, man. I would be dead. You know, I'm truly blessed to be here with you lot. We have a laugh and a joke. And I prefer Twitch. I'm not just saying that because it's the right thing to say. You lot are just... It's more relaxed, man. It's more relaxed. It feels a bit mature is not the right word, but a bit more mature, man. Like YouTube, there's too much knickers in a twist. People get emotionally charged. But anyways, we're back across YouTube and Twitch in 10 minutes, people. Make sure you're all there. It's been fantastic being with you lot. But for now, my love and leave you lot, man. Big up Ross. Again, see you in 10. You lot don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Where is that from? Why are you coming fast? Yeah, that video. Wouldn't she like to know? But on that note, before it gets silly, peace.
There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like